You are listening to the Adult Sabbath School lessons for the third quarter of 2022. This is lesson number 4 of the Adult Sabbath School Bible Study Guide, In the Crucible with Christ. This lesson is titled Seeing the Goldsmith's Face. It's ready for teaching on July 23. The author is Pastor Gavin Anthony, who was conference president in Iceland when he wrote this series of lessons. Today your lesson is read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Wednesday, July 20, The Wise. Yesterday we looked at the importance of character for those waiting for the second coming. Today we will look more specifically at the importance of character for those who are alive at the second coming of Jesus. Read Daniel 12 verses 1 to 10. What is the context? What time in Earth's history is being referred to? Most important, what can we tell from these verses about the character of God's people during these times? What characteristics are given them in contrast to the wicked? Also have a look at Revelation 22, verse 11. But first, Daniel 12, beginning at verse 1. At that time Michael shall stand up, the great prince who stands watch over the sons of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. And at that time your people shall be delivered, every one who is found written in the book. And many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. Those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars, for ever and ever. But you, Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book until the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Then I, Daniel, looked, and there stood two others, one on this river bank, and the other on that river bank. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, How long shall the fulfilment of these wonders be? Then I heard the man clothed in linen, who was above the waters of the river, when he held up his right hand and his left hand to heaven, and swore by him who lives forever, that it shall be for a time, times, and half a time. And when the power of the holy people has been completely shattered, all these things shall be finished. Although I heard, I did not understand. Then I said, My Lord, what shall be the end of these things? And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end. Many shall be purified, made white, and refined, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. And Revelation 22, verse 11. He who is unjust, let him be unjust still. He who is filthy, let him be filthy still. He who is righteous, let him be righteous still. He who is holy, let him be holy still. Daniel is told that just before Jesus comes, there will be a time of distress unequaled at any time of history. In Daniel 12, verses 3 and 10, we're given a depiction of the righteous and the wicked during this time. Notice how the wicked shall do wickedly in verse 10, in contrast to the righteous who in verse 3 shine brightly, perhaps because they have been, as it says in verse 10, purified, made spotless, and refined. During this time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that time. That's verse 1. In contrast to, the wicked do not understand, but the righteous are wise and do understand. Understand what? Math? Science? Higher criticism? Proverbs says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge in Proverbs 1 verse 7. Perhaps in this context, the wise are wise because they have an understanding of these final events, the time of trouble as it unfolds. They are not taken by surprise. From their study of the word, they know it's coming, and most important, they know enough to allow this time of trouble to purify and refine them. The wicked, on the other hand, are just made more obstinate in their rebellion and thus continue in their wickedness. The crucial point is that here we are given a depiction of a people who have been through a refining and purifying process. So to finish the day, though we've looked at these texts in the context of the very last days, what principles do we see here that can help us to understand better what the purifying and refining process is all about, even today? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.